Right, hello everyone, and welcome back to Daily Update, my 1000 Days Challenge. This is day 325, so let's get things started. All right, so first and foremost, you'll notice in terms of balance-wise, I'm up, I think, insignificantly. And reason being, there was a couple of trades. One trade that was in profit, one trade that was in loss due to some slippages, so it went flat. Again, today, the market continued to go down, so I'm still in terms of trading stop loss only for Link itself in terms of my main trading account setup. In terms of experimental trade setup, right now, the main thing is only in terms of I have a profit for Bitcoin, and I mean a loss for Bitcoin and a profit for Ethereum itself. So I'll explain more a little bit in terms when I look at the chart itself. All right, so other than that, I would say I did miss this 20 exponential moving average rejection of it. But if you have you have seen it, then this would have been the trade that would have been. So yesterday I did mention that I was waiting for a nice rejection off of it. So if you look closely enough, you'll see that there's a very nice rejection off of it, and then followed by 3 consecutive bearish candles. So which is why I mentioned that this 20 exponential moving average is a very key component that a lot of traders does look. So for example, you get this kind of a bearish kind of a shooting star kind of pattern happening at this 20 exponential moving average itself. So what will happen is that people will put a trigger sell stop order right over here. This is what I will have put. And then with a stop order right above here, above the swing high region as buffer itself. So then you would be able to take here either 1:1.5 risk to reward setup, or you could choose to continue to write it just as well. But you have entered earlier on with this kind of risk entry itself, similarly we have hit the target profit just as well. All right, but if you have missed it, nothing to be fearful about. So you just have to wait for the next potential trade coming in, and do bear in mind to be as consistent as you can as potentially possible. To bear in mind that even though we are seeing lower low over here, we are not seeing a decrease in term momentum just yet. But of course, this does not mean that this is a swing low just yet. We could, of course, trend towards lower low, in which case this could go towards further downside just as well. All right, so of course, I did mention over here, it's definitely a clearly strong supportive itself. Really, we supported once here, supported twice here, and now potentially the third time. But do bear in mind that each time we've been supportive itself, the bounce up has been relatively strong. So it'll be very key and important to see how strong this bounce upwards is. If we get a strong rejection of this 20 exponential moving average, we will definitely form a very bearish sign sell overall, especially if you look in terms of daily chart itself. If we just consolidate over here, it's definitely looking bearish itself. All right, so yeah, and looking on the weekly chart is definitely also bearish as well, especially last week we find somewhat like a bearish engulfing candlestick itself compared to the week previous. And the volume wise, even though it wasn't that strong itself, but it's still seeing a good enough volume, I would say. All right, so I've drawn this Fibonacci retracement simply from the previous low, which was in March 2020. In the March 2020 to peak itself, which was around 34K itself. So you will see that the golden zone itself will definitely be at the 26K mark, but potentially there is also the 50 simple moving average. So I'll say somewhere between 27.3K to this 30K mark could be a very strong sign of support. So either we attempt very quickly and get a strong bounce off there, or against odds, you break through very violently below it, and we could even see the 20K mark briefly in order to trigger those people who were aggressively looking for long if there was such a case. So this would be what would happen if there are many people putting a buy order at those levels, but they're actually trading it. And if they have a stop loss right below here, then they may be triggered very easily in this perspective. All right, so overall, I'm still technically bullish in terms of long-term wise for Bitcoin. Nothing much has changed fundamentally. So of course, to me, right now, it's just purely the sales period. So as and when I definitely do dollar cost average down into it, and let's see how far I can go into that. All right, so with that said, on the 4-hour chart, I'm looking for a potential bounce and further rejection and accumulation over here before for a new short setup. So no major setup. If you have entered here, then potentially you should have taken some profit over here, be it 20%, 10%, or if you choose to have a trailing stop loss, similarly, you can use this 20 exponential moving average. As long as price doesn't close above it, you could potentially still stick to your short setup. So for me, I will at least choose to take 50% profit and write the remaining of it. All right, otherwise, that's more or less about it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop by your comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.